shot. I know I'm not supposed to put anything in the comments or in the title, but the wow, I have a like within 10 seconds of getting started. That's pretty amazing. And I encourage everybody watching to like, share, and sub. Dislike if you don't like the video. Absolutely dislike it. Let me know. But today, I unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, I've been dealing with Muslims, and so I commented. I'm going to read you the back and forth between me and this guy called Ryan, Ryn Ipin, Ipin, I guess. But I commented something about Islam on a page, on a Muslim. Like, it's always shocking to me how like stupid Muslims are, right? Like, how do you not understand the whole Abrahamic religion, Muslims, Islam, Judaism? It's all just Jew fairy tale, Jew tricks, Jew control. Like, how do you not get that? Why do Muslims think their thing is real, but think Christianity, which is basically the exact same shit, it's just fucking dumber. I mean, it's not dumb. It's just, I don't know, it's worse. Why do they think their thing is true, but the other things aren't? I never understand that. And I've really been pushing it lately. I've been asking these people. Like, I've had a couple of Muslims come through here, and before they realize that I hate all religions, they're like, yeah, Jews are terrible, blah 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, but you know, so is Islam. Islam's terrible too. Christianity is terrible. We're talking about a whole bunch of terrible shit. And you know, the Muslims that have come through here, like, I guess in my head, I sort of think like if you're willing to stop what you're doing 6 times a day and pray, and you're willing to overlook a lot of really bad things, and you know, like the Muslims are a lot more open about the really awful shit they do, especially to people who don't agree with them. And like, you would think, and then there's the whole Mecca thing, and there, you know, you got to go make a pilgrimage to Mecca so you can walk around the big cube and all that other just unbelievably goofy stuff. It's fucking stupid. It's stupid. I'm sorry. Like, to think about, like, what did people do before that? You know, how did that even come to exist? Who decided that, okay, we're going to build this huge area that somehow lasted the test of time, and you're going to walk in circles this way, don't go the other way now. And the men go here, and the women go here, and the blah blah, and the blue blue, and the blee blee, and it's all so stupid. We're going to look into it more once I finally get home. My driver has to do a couple of things before we can actually get home. But I'm going to continue the feed. But I want you to see what this dumb Muslim says. Because he comes on my feed, or I comment on this one thing, and then he's going to comment to me about, I don't know what I'm talking about, or something like that, or you know, it's not Islam, it's you, something like that. So I said to him, I sent him a DM, and I said, if I'm wrong, come to this page at 8:30 Eastern and prove it, because I'll be bashing the hell out of you and Islam this morning for sure. It's all thanks to you. And he says, ooh, LMAO, ooh, I'm so scared. You're going to bash me on whatever page you are on? You think you're Y-O-U-R, bashing, oh, that is right. He actually got it right. My bad. Will make Islam vanish. Ha ha ha. Waste of time. Man, you really are a joke. Joke of the year. I said, LOL, thanks for admitting that you don't even know your own nonsense. If you did, you'd know that you aren't allowed to turn down the conversation. You'll anger your silly God. And you know as I do that your beliefs are a cancer, and because of that, you can't defend it. If you really didn't care, you wouldn't have shown your ignorance in the first place with your crybaby comment. Again, thank you for providing multiple examples of the cowards I will be speaking of in 20 minutes or so. I can't wait to show the world your truth. LOL, typical Jew slave. He said, huh? Boy, are you high on drugs? Seriously? My God is not silly, but you are. And what source did you seek? Reference. Turn down conversation and anger my God and my crybaby comment. Ha 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 ha. You are the one crying Islam nonsense, Christian nonsense, Jewish fairy tale, Jewish slave. Quit smoking drugs, man. This is what happened. This is what happened. My belief is not a cancer, but people like you are. You shouldn't exist in this world, but my God, allow you to be born. Probably to show the world that a dummy like you actually exists, and we can't do anything about it. Can't do anything about you lot because you are so toxic, so blinded, and will keep refusing, denying, and pushing the truth away. People like you can't be helped. Pity, but I will still pray for you to find the truth. See, this is your typical Muslim. They say a bunch of stupid shit because they can't say anything else. Right? What else can this idiot say? I said, LOL, you got nothing, cowards. I can't wait to destroy you, blah, blah, blah. He said, ooh, I'm so scared. I said, clearly, just like you clearly care about what I'm saying. I said, quiet, chief, I'm going live. He said, talking about yourself? You keep yapping, that's all you. So yapping must be a big thing in the Muslim world because they all say that same stupid shit, right? They always pull that same dumb fucking yapping. You're just yapping. You're yapping. You're just yapping. I'm not driving, dumbass. I have a driver. Wait there. I'll be right there. And meet Allah. Oh, you want me to die? So you're Y-O-U-R, calling all Muslim countries terrorists because of their religion. Where is the fact the U.S. invaded them for no... Yeah, I literally said all Muslim countries are terrorists. Remember when I said that? Remember how I said that? All Muslim countries are terrorists? You almost done? You feeling good? I don't know.
Yes, he's feeling fine, Dad.
No, that is not. He's going to be...
He's feeling fine.
They are going to call us and send him home.
No, they won't.
How much you want to bet?
They won't. I'll bet.
Okay. I bet that you will clean the backyard when you get home. And if I'm wrong, then you will clean the backyard and I'll help you. There you go. Do you mind taking him? What? Do you mind taking him?
Yeah. Sure, sweetheart. God damn it.
What? I'll take him. It's no big deal. Oh.
No,
Oh. Arguing is for the weak. Yeah. Arguing is for the weak. Not being a blind sheep and just following. That's not for weak people. Arguing is for weak people. Do you understand how stupid the average Muslim is? You feeling okay though? Good. Well, I hope you have a great day. I love you so much. Huh? I gave you a hug.
You gave me a side hug.
Yeah.
I wanted a real hug.
I love you, Didi.
Love you too. Mom?
You argue because you have no power. You're right.
Do what you gotta do.
That is absolutely right. If I could, I would shut it down in a heartbeat. If I had the power to, I would destroy your religions in your Jewish fairy tales in a heartbeat. And the thing is, like, again, if anybody's a Muslim on here arguing with me, they're proving the point. Look how stupid they are. They don't say, hey, man, I think you're wrong. You know, hey, I think you might be misguided. Hey, what are you misconstruing? Anything like that. Their only real nonsense is to, go cry baby. What are they going to say? How are they going to ever say anything close to make that bullshit seem real? Right? How are they going to, it's basically going to come down to a whole bunch of shit. And the thing is, when I was talking to the Muslims last time, so stop bitching and get some power, right? So if I get to the position to where I can override the censorship and my live feed gets big, 77 viewers ain't bad. But if I can make my live, doesn't that attain power? Obviously, it bothers you guys because you do everything you can to try to stop it. So I am getting power, dumbass. Throw away all the religions. Exactly. Especially Judaism. But Islam is stupid. Look at how these dumb Muslims respond. It's always the same. They respond with anger and violence and, don't make fun of Islam or any religion. Or what? What? Why would it matter? If your shit's true, why would some guy talking about it on a YouTube page matter? The only reason you don't want people talking about it, making fun of it, pointing shit out is because that's, well, one, that's what you're told, but two, because the more people talk about it, the more people expose it, the less people you're going to get. You are just treading whiny water. Yeah. I mean, again, this is the best the average Muslim can do. These are people who are willingly Jewish slaves. They know they believe in an Abrahamic religion, and yet they still follow it. Explain that one. Explain what one? Internet is the downfall of Islam. Internet should be the downfall of all religious control, especially Judaism. I'm not even Muslim. So you're just defending some disgusting Jew control scheme because you've been programmed to? You don't even believe in it? That's funny. I don't care what you are. You don't matter. You're just an example. You just provide the example of the stupidity that I'm talking about across the board. If you're not one of these things and you're still supporting it, that just shows you how, brainwashed you are. No, they're not. Anyway. Go get clean. Yep, that's what, same old shit. Same old nonsense. We'll start with the schizophrenia stuff. And did you take your meds? I had another guy. His last name was Rome. And I said, I called him out. It was on a card page. I called him out. And he said, something, I can't remember exactly what he said. And he called me something. And I said, well, at least I'm not a genocide supporter. And he said, did you forget to take your meds? Because that's just what they do. They really don't have any other nonsense. When your argument is baseless to begin with, like, it's crazy to me that Muslims get so angry when you try to talk about it with them. You would think like they would get this feeling of joy, like, oh, really? You're asking questions about my beliefs? Oh, because I know if somebody questions me, I'm like more than happy to engage them. Let's talk about it. Hell yeah, I'll tell you why I don't believe this or I believe this or whatever. And just like Christians, just like Jews, just like anybody else, when you ask a Muslim about what they believe, they don't have that same reaction. They don't go, oh, sweet, you're questioning things? Here, let me engage you. Let me help you understand. They immediately shut down. Hey, you can't say that. You can't say that. Tell you that line, you must layer type enter name in these guys usually bury as light or a roof and blames Jews and Muslims. I barely have light or a roof. Okay, like this is what I mean. So instead of engaging in the conversation in any sort of meaningful way, this dumbass just says like stupid shit. Like, yeah, I don't have a roof and there's no lights. But you can't whine like, well, Again, why, if I'm wrong about Islam, why aren't you telling me what I'm wrong about? Why doesn't it make people think? I think you're right, but tell us some facts. About which thing? Cheese? My man, your roof falling about on your and your while you are worried about religion. My roof is falling about and your while you are like this is how stupid. Oh, it's falling apart. Yes, my roof is falling apart. If like seriously, can you imagine you're watching a feed where somebody is directly sort of talking to you and talking about the thing that you're I guess angry about, or I don't even know, but like somebody's trying to directly talk to you and you're so desperate to try to find something, you're looking in the background of the video and trying to find any little thing you can find, and I guess because we hit the ceiling with something, that means the roof is falling apart. Like, can you imagine being that desperate? Right about Islam is stupid. It really is stupid. So you're saying that all religions are bad, or just Islam and Judaism? Oh no, all religions for sure. Because especially the big three: Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Those are all three Jewish religions. You just like the worshipers, the slaves, just don't realize it. I can't imagine smoking cigarettes. Yeah, me neither. Smoking cigarettes is gross. A man living in a rundown trailer, and yep. See, look at this is how desperate they are. Because I have my rundown trailer in the middle of the neighborhood. I'm in the 2-story rundown trailer in the middle of the neighborhood. When you're so desperate that you just say stupid things that are easily disproven, then I guess nobody should really care or listen to anything you say, should they? Islam is just the worst of them. No, it's really not. It's not. Because at the end of the day, Jews think they're the best. Muslims think they're the best. Christians think Jews are the best. I mean, you want to talk about like unbelievably stupid, right? Christians think the Jews are the people who completely totally look down on Christians, think Christians are like really really stupid, and the Jews think the Christians are the stupidest people. Just they don't believe Jesus, all that shit. The Jews think the worst of Christians, and yet Christians think the bad guys in the Bible, the Jews are the bad guys in the Bible. That the bad guys in the Bible are Christian God's chosen favorite people. Talk about like it doesn't get any dumber than that. Now when it comes to the worst, both Christians and Muslims, they at least want the best for you. In their own sick, twisted, fucked up way, they want to save your soul. So they want to bring you in and help you achieve the same thing. They believe that they're doing the best. And I love you, buddy, and they want the best for you. They're gonna save your soul. They're gonna help you get to that other place. The Jews want nothing to do with you.
I know.
All right, buddy, I love you. Have a great day. Be good, okay?
Get ready to help me when I go.
I hope so. The Jews want nothing to do with you. They think Christians are stupid. They think Muslims are stupid. They think definitely just everybody that isn't Jewish is considered goyim, and goyim is cattle, is no different than a table, a chair. We're just here to be used. That's how the Jews think. So they're actually by far the worst, right? What they believe in is by far the worst shit, especially when it comes to the circumcision shit, where they're cutting and sucking on the baby penises, and they're just the worst. They are by far the worst. And because they control everything and they create the world that sucks. Like it's 2024, we should live in a utopia. We don't, because they don't want us to. The harder things are, the more scared we are, the easier we are to control, and that's what matters to them. So Mormon American Jesus is the best. Yeah, sure he is. You ever read a book, A Year of Living Biblically? It's hilarious. No, that'd be funny. Jew, York City, blah, blah, blah. Yes, Chili of the Jew. This act is there entertaining. I'll buy some more meth for these rats. Yep, that's what it is. I love when people can't actually debunk what I'm saying, but they try and they say stupid shit. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the fact that when the Jews do circumcision, so circumcision, it's funny because Christians are just stupid, right? God doesn't care about what you do. God doesn't care how you treat your fellow man, whether you sleep, you cheat on your wife, you beat your children, spare the rod, spoil the child. God doesn't care how we treat the animals. God doesn't care how we treat the planet, whether we poison it, whatever. God doesn't care about anything other than the covenant that he made with Abraham, saying that he would never destroy the earth again in a flood as long as Jews continue to, they circumcise. They didn't continue to. They make this pact with Abraham. Abraham and God make this pact that, I mean, I don't even, it's fucking stupid. I don't even know why, like how this comes up, how this is the thing that God is like, hey, I when I make the people, I always fuck up and make the penis skin. I put some glands and shit in there that I didn't want to put in there. So I need you to cut that off. And as long as Jews continue to perform circumcision, whether it's on themselves, on their kids, on them for the ritualistic aspect, or they mark their property, because Abraham, after he circumcises himself, he then circumcises his entire slave lot, which is the Goyim. So, as long as Jews continue to do that, he won't flood the earth again, and he'll prove it by showing us rainbows. That's what your Bible says. You mutilate your children to satisfy Jewish dogma and mark yourselves as Jewish property, or mark your children as Jewish property. And you usually don't do the circumcision. A Jewish doctor does. But that's literally that's what your Bible says. And when it comes to the Jews have someone called the Moil. And the Moil's sole job is to go around performing circumcisions. And when the Moil does it, after he cuts the baby dick, he sucks on it. Now, it's really important that you guys understand. When Goyim boys are circumcised, we're circumcised within hours of being alive. Within hours of being born, they put us through a traumatic mutilation. And they don't normally numb it or anesthetic because it's a newborn baby. This baby has just been born. This baby can barely see. It's just making connections. It's just sort of starting to figure things out. It has no idea what's going on. They take it away from the parents. They put it in the incubator for a little bit so it's all alone. It doesn't know what's going on. They then take it to the cold operating room where they strap it down on its back in almost like a crucifixion position. Its arms are outstretched and they're strapped down, and its legs are strapped down. They put a little bell thing over the penis and they spin it around, and there's a blade that comes out and cuts the foreskin. That's how they do the circumcisions. And when it happens, the baby goes, ah! And it goes into shock. It literally goes into shock, like you would imagine. I mean, any of us, if you've ever been kicked in the balls, like, it's a really sensitive thing, and it's not unnecessary skin. They're cutting off glands and very necessary shit. And then they take the baby and they put it back in the incubator room while it's in shock until it comes out of shock. It could take a half hour, it could take an hour. This baby is sitting there alone, trying to figure out what the fuck just happened. Maybe that's why American prisons are so full of rapists and whatnot. Maybe that's why we have such a weirdly penis-focused, like destruction penis-focused society. Because within hours of being born, Goyim are mutilated. and left to figure it out on their own. And then once the baby finally comes out of shock, and whenever somebody comes out of shock, they're exhausted. Their body's just gone through trauma, and now they're exhausted. They bring the baby to the parents, and they go, "Oh, look, little man had his surgery. He's so sweepy." And you're like, "Oh, come here, little guy." Mind you, they've wrapped up this wound in a bandage that will then hold the pee on it, so the baby's going to keep peeing on its own wound. But if you know the difference between, if you ever had a kid, you remember that a newborn baby and a week-old baby are completely different. The week-old baby basically doubles in size, fills all out. It's not all blue and wrinkly and what. It's important, and that's the Jews, because the Jews think vaginas are disgusting. If you know about what the Hasidic Jews do every month, like what the women have to go through here in the United States, every month, every time they have their cycle, they get sent to a special, like, once they think they're done bleeding, they have to go to this special, I should look it up, what the person's called. But this special, like Jewish person who then physically checks the woman to see if there's any signs of blood or menstruation. If there is, she has to wait a week or whatever and then come back. But if there's not, she is then taken to another place where she is cleaned inside and out by other people. She's cleaned so that she can run home and have sex with her husband after being violated by all these other people and whatnot. She runs home to have sex with her husband because that's the only time she's truly clean, because again, Jewish men think the vagina is disgusting. But with circumcision, because the baby has passed through the vagina, that makes the baby disgusting and impure. So they have to wait 7 days for the impurities to wear off. So on the 8th day, they have what's called a bris, where Brit Milah takes place. That's the circumcision is called Brit Milah. And it's performed by the mohel. And what they do is, now this baby that's been alive for 8 days, it's had love, it's experienced warmth and laughter and food and safety and happiness and all these different feelings that it's felt in this first week, as opposed to trauma being one of the first experiences it has, like we do. They have a party where all their family gets together. The mohel cuts and sucks on the baby dick. And then they pass the baby around to the family members, so it still, again, gets more love. Not saying it's okay, or it's better than what's done to us, because at least the baby gets love. It doesn't understand what just happened, but at least there's love around it. When it's us, they put us through torture. None of us would ever think to do that. Like there's a reason why they don't let circumcision be an option that you choose. Because nobody would fucking choose that shit. Not nobody. Some stupid people would. But most people wouldn't. And in the Jewish religion, circumcision is like the the number one mitzvah. It's the number one thing in the Jewish religion. So women, the only reason women are even there is to create more penises to circumcise. But when people talk about Jews being kicked out of 100 countries in the last 1,000 years, and why are the Jews so persecuted? Why? They've always been so persecuted in the world. It's because they insist on cutting and sucking baby penises. That's why they were kicked. That's what Hanukkah is all about. Hanukkah is from the Maccabee revolts, where Jews were going around killing Jews who refused to do circumcision. And the Jews that wouldn't do circumcision and wouldn't join their revolt were killed by the Jews until they finally had enough people that they could go against the sitting royalty at the time. And I guess they won their right to cut and suck on baby penises. That's literally all it ever comes down to. They want us to fight each other. Exactly. They do not care what the fuck we talk about. If you're wrapped up in Trump, in Kamala, in vaccines, in chemtrails, in the pedophile church, in the government at all, in pedophile Hollywood, any of it. If you're wrapped up in any of that stuff, you're actually being distracted. And the more effective, like the truer the thing, the more effective the distraction is. Tartaria is another fantastic distraction. You know, the Hollywood pedo thing, if you're focused on that, you feel fucking, I'm vindicated, I'm right, I'm the good person. I'm talking about this thing that we need to shut down. You feel good about exposing and not being blind to something so awful. Yet as soon as you get to the top of that pyramid, all you're going to find is Jews. And because you've been told you're not allowed to talk about the Jews, you get to this weird place where you then go to Jewish doctors who tell you you're depressed and they give you medication. And instead of you going, no, I'm not depressed, I'm fucking angry. I see this happening and I see it's really obvious and it's you people doing it. They go, you're not allowed to say that shit. Yeah, of course you're supposed to figure out what's wrong in this world. That's our charge as people, is to figure out what's wrong and fix it. But as soon as you start saying, okay, I figured it out, it's the Jews. They don't tell you you're wrong. They don't say, oh no, that's ridiculous. They don't do that. They don't say that. They tell you, hey, you're not allowed to say that. Don't you say that. And most people go, yeah, okay, I guess I will. I don't want to offend anybody. The thing is, you can't offend people unless you're telling the truth. Nobody is offended by nonsense. Just like you can't shame people for being too good looking or too smart or too muscular. You know, man, that car is too nice. Look at your nice car. You can't shame somebody for that. They're going to look at you and be like, yeah, well, whatever. Okay, dude. As soon as you say, hey, you know, Israel is guilty of killing, you know, of genocide right now. There's never been a more open, obvious, bragged about genocide in the history of the world. More recorded, more, you know, again, bragged about. And I'm not supposed to say it's the Jews? What are you, crazy? You used to be Muslim. Oh, did you wake up? I'd love to know what happened. That's a really interesting story. You're all about the final man all the time. Oh, Jesus Christ. Literally the synagogue of Satan. Yeah, it's stupid. It's amazing to me that Christians don't understand that. That Christians call the Jews God's chosen people and give them every concession, like we give Israel $3.8 billion a year. We've given Israel $18+ billion since October 7th of last year, where no Israelis were even killed. No Israelis were killed and none of them were taken hostage. It's all bullshit. No other countries can do what Israel is doing right now. Of course, nobody. Nobody can talk about it. Or nobody can even come close to saying anything like that. Let's talk about your arrest. Yeah, sure. We should stop talking about a worldwide problem that affects everybody and some bullshit nonsense that only affected me and my family. Right, because I'm selfish and stupid. Right? Just dumb. Israel doesn't exist. It's Palestinian. Well, the thing is, again, I'm not at all a free Palestine guy. Because free Palestine, what does that even mean? What are we supposed to, what is free Palestine? It's not pre-1967 Palestine. You know, it's not pre-1948 Palestine. Because then you have it's British mandate Palestine. So are we talking about free Palestine like pre-World War One? And even then, are we talking about putting in some sort of monarch, some sort of, Muslim or Christian leadership, some king or some shit? No. It's not about free Palestine. It's about end Israel. Palestine is yesterday's story. Today's story is Lebanon. They're doing the same thing to Lebanon. And if you look at the Greater Israel Project, you'll see that they plan on making Israel huge. Oh, Colton, you're just getting started, buddy. By the way, if you're watching this and you agree, don't forget to like, share, and sub. Take 2 seconds to share this feed on your Facebook page, because I guarantee there are people out there who, especially if you're in any sort of conspiracy world, they know who I am and they wonder where I've been. So if you have, take 2 seconds to like the video, which, like every creator says, actually helps, because it does. Like, share the video, and sub. Help a motherfucker out, man. I'm just trying to make the world a better place. Israel couldn't realistically take that much land. Yeah, sure. Thoughts on Putin threatening nuclear attacks because Ukraine used long-range missiles? New Cold War in the midst of the two global conflicts. Some heavy distraction or other. No, dude, that's what World War is, right? Something that has to do with Israel, and then something that has to do outside of that, but yet still involves. But like the whole Putin Ukraine thing, what I want to know is, maybe it was 2018 or so, Putin disappeared for like 2.5, 3 months. Nobody saw him. Nobody knew where he was. Nothing. He was gone. Where'd he go? All right. Nobody ever asks why we care about Ukraine so much, especially Kiev. And the reason is it's got one of the largest Jewish populations in the region. That's literally all it is. Prior to the unprovoked invasion, there were 3. Israel was running 3 either 747 or whatever the biggest passenger jet is. 3 of them were running nonstop for 3 weeks, bringing as many Jews as they could from Israel, from Kiev to Israel, where they have the law of return, which gives them one of the settlement mansions that they get and all that. And they get their Jew checks. Now that you're here, you get a check just for being Jewish. You get to live your life. You get a great existence just because you're Jewish. Russia are the good guys in this conflict. To some degree, I mean, Russia, Putin, all that, they're just doing what they're, like, it's just more bullshit. It's just more, like, if you think that Russia is independently operating and isn't doing what they're told, you're not paying attention. Why do they suck on babies? Because they believe the Moyle, especially the Moyle because of his chosen profession, that somehow his saliva not only cauterizes but cleanses the wound. It's what they say. Unprovoked invasion. That's what it was called. And if you looked up see, you can't really do this anymore. They've really made Wikipedia difficult. But the unprovoked invasion, basically what was happening was, at the time, we were still like, hey, where are the Epstein tapes? Right? They had just shut down the Prince Andrew trial. Remember, Virginia Giuffre was supposed to, she was like, I'm not going to take any money. I'm going to take this to the fullest. Hey, where are all the other girls? Isn't it weird how not a single other girl has come up? I mean, the thing about Epstein is, if they didn't want us to know about Epstein, we wouldn't have known about Epstein. The only reason we knew about Epstein is because they wanted us to know. So while we're all distracted by Epstein, we're not asking, like, Epstein was an Israeli agent. He was Israeli secret intelligence. He was a high-ranking Israeli. And he was given that position that he was in because nobody knows where he got all his shit. How did he end up with the exact same amount of money as Maxwell? You know, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, Robert Maxwell, he was supposedly grew up in the Jewish ghettos where he was so poor that him and his sister had to share shoes. That's the narrative. How do you share shoes? But the Holocaust, the Holocaust, all of his family was killed but him. And somehow this young Jewish kid clawed and scratched his way to the top to become a media mogul in the UK somehow. And then he got all involved. It started to get exposed what was happening. So suddenly he's on his yacht and he disappears and he turns up dead and naked and nobody knows what happened and it's clearly foul play, but there's no blah, blah. Well, the craziest part is that Maxwell was given the highest ranking Israeli military funeral somebody can be given. Why? Like the highest, a prime minister funeral where previous prime ministers were all there. All of the military brass was there. It was a huge event for a UK citizen, a UK media mogul was given a high-ranking Israeli military funeral. Why don't you just think about that? Why don't you think about how unbelievably ridiculous that is? But when he died, he was said to be worth around $500 million, and that money just disappeared. Well, guess how much money Epstein happened to be worth? $500 million. You know what's a crazy thing that nobody ever talks about in the Epstein story? Epstein's first job, his first real thing, was a professor at the Dalton Academy, which is a high class, mostly Jewish school in New York or on the East. I think it's New York, but on the East Coast somewhere. But it's the Dalton Academy. It's this really prestigious, high society school. And Epstein didn't even have the full credits to grad. He didn't have his degree yet. He was a few credits short of having his degree, and yet the headmaster of the school at the time, just before he quit, one of the last things he did in June, at the end of the school year, before going off into the private sector and becoming a bazillionaire, one of the last things he did in that position was put Epstein as the professor. Out of all the other people that were clearly way more qualified than him, he put this Jew who ends up being one of the most well-known human traffickers of all time. He put him in charge of high school is it high school or is it college? I'm not really sure. I think it's one of the two. I'm not sure what the Dalton Academy is, if it's after graduate school or not. But he was put in charge of that. Not some old stuffy Jewish guy, not some seasoned math teacher. This guy who didn't have any previous experience and who didn't even have the full credits was given this position. Now, who was that person that gave him that position? Well, it's interesting because when Epstein died, this was just after William Barr was brought in as the third or fourth attorney general or whatever. Just out of nowhere, this Jew, William Barr, was brought in, and he decided that after seeing some tapes that we couldn't see, that we didn't have access to, that there was no foul play involved in the Epstein death, and that there would be no real congressional investigation or federal investigation. That was William Barr. You would think William Barr should have recused himself from that case, considering he clearly had previous interactions with Epstein. Again, considering it was his father, William Barr's father, that gave Epstein that first job. What do you think the chances are that that's just all accidental? Guys, ask yourself these questions. If I'm wrong, just tell me what I'm wrong about. That should be easy. If I'm wrong, then you debunk me and I look like a fucking idiot. But why didn't William Barr recuse himself? All the shows like this you watch. If William Barr had a previous association with Epstein dating back to the 70s, shouldn't he have recused himself when it comes to being in charge of whether or not to do an investigation into his death, especially when he decided not to? I mean, you just need to switch to edibles with all the coughing going on. Whatever, I don't care. Why don't we focus on what's being said here? How many people know that? How many people know that the person that gave Epstein his start was the father of the man who closed the case on Epstein, on who gave the final word on Epstein? Don't you think that's not believable? Godspeed, people. Yep, that's how people got around in the Bible, using that Godspeed. Yeah. That's how Lot got the hell out of there. Him and his daughters, so they could go get some brown chicken, brown cow up in the cave. Fucking crazy, man. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. The Hare Krishnas were the best part of Hawaii. When I was in Hawaii, and we'd be walking down the street, and there'd be all these street performers and shit doing all these different things. The Hare Krishnas would just come walking through, and they'd be beating on drums and shit. Hare Krishna, and it was fucking awesome. Wait, Barr's dad did that. Prove me wrong. And always tell about the Holocaust and anti-Semitic shit. The Holocaust is not real. The narrative that you've been given about the Holocaust is not real. There were roughly 3 million Jews in Europe at the time, and most of them escaped here. The actual estimate, at the very least, just answer this. Let's just say you're the crazy Hitler, right? You're the crazy Hitler, and you think that I'm going to exterminate this one group of people. Are you going to... Are you going to round all those people up and then put them in camps that are heated, that have running water, electricity, they have soccer teams, they have theater groups, they have their own money? Are you going to do that? And don't you think if you did that and millions of people were being exterminated, people would have been talking about where the hell all these people are? Where the fuck are all these people? Where'd they go? If you look at the World Census Report, it shows that 15 to 16 million Jews existed prior to the war, worldwide. 16 to 17 during the war, and 18 million after the war. There's no, 6 million loss. It's not true. NASA means to deceive in Hebrew. Hitler photographed in Argentina in 1984. Hitler was an actor. Even according to the records, he wasn't involved in anything. He was much more involved in the pageantry and setting up the big parades and shit like that. The crazy part is, where's my drink? Most people don't realize the United States had the same thing going on. We had the Japanese internment camps happening at the same time. And all they were work camps. You know, there was abuse and all kinds of shit going on there. But the whole camp thing, that wasn't uncommon. Do you guys know that Hebrew is like 100-something years old? Hebrew is the newest language on the planet. You think it's this old, ancient, blah, blah, blah. No, it was created by a guy named Eliezer Ben Yehuda. And he made it from, he said, based on Arabic. Basically what they did was took Arabic and set a mirror next to it. And then called that Hebrew. If you just look at Hebrew in a mirror, it looks like Arabic. Everyone smash the like button and share the stream. Truth is being told by this man. All we have to do is listen. Well, and share the stream. Yeah. Like, share, and sub, guys. That's all I ask you to do. And you know what? I even give you free music. Go get the free music. www.the-bilderberg, B-I-L-D-E-R-G, the-bilderberg, B-I-L-D-E-R-B-E-R-G, group.com. The link will be in the description after the fact. If I put it in there before the hand, it seems to fuck up the feed, I guess. I don't know. But I'll put it in after. But again, www.the-bilderberg, B-I-L-D-E-R-B-E-R-G group.com. It's in the description of previous videos if you have to go before this video ends. But it's free. All we ask you to do is put 0 in the payment box. It'll say, how much do you want to pay? You put 0. You could put 2, 10, 15, 20, 1,000, bazillion, fulfillion dollars if you wanted to. Anything you want in there. But we don't ask you to. All we ask you to do is share it with somebody else. Because that's what this is all about. We have to help each other. If you know somebody else doing a better job of telling the truth than I am, then fucking hey, tell me who they are, because I'll share the shit out of them. I highly suggest you guys go to My Lunch Break, Lucius Aurelian, Mind Unveiled. Go to all those different pages and learn. Those guys are debunking the whole fake history Tartaria myth. And I think that shit's really, really fascinating and honestly, one of the best distractions that they have. Why are you sharing all this? Because I want our lives to be better. I want my kids to have a better life. It has nothing. You see, it's weird to me. Like, as much as I hate the pedos, people are always like, oh, what happened to you? Nothing happened to me. I don't know why something has to happen to you for you to give a shit. Thankfully, I've never been assaulted. That doesn't mean I have any sympathy for the pedos or any, like, they should be killed. I don't have to know exactly what that feels like to know it's pretty fucking awful and those people should be killed. And I don't, I'm not Palestinian or Semitic other than the black part of me. But I'm not, I'm not Muslim, I'm not Christian, nothing. I'm not a free Palestine guy. I think Israel needs to be ended. Judaism needs to be ended. Because it's disgusting. It's just disgusting. And I don't know, I don't know how, like, I'm tired of trying to talk my way around it and say it in a nice way. You want to see somebody else talking about chemtrails or talking about vaccines or whatever it is, you want to see somebody talking about those things, go find those feeds. There's plenty of people talking about that shit. I talk about the head of the monster. It's not Zionism. That's part of the invisible thing that they do. You know, they love having the Goyim focused on invisible bad guys. Invisible options, you know. Most of the Goyim believe in invisible God or invisible Jesus. You believe in invisible rocks falling from the sky. You believe in, you know, that wiped out the invisible dinosaurs. You believe in an invisible pole shift that froze the woolly mammoth with the grass still in its mouth while it was chewing. You believe in the super volcano underneath Yellowstone. Everything that you believe is all about death, doom, and destruction, and nothing is positive. No belief structure is like, hell yeah, let's fix this. They're all about, like, in a Christian's best case scenario, Jesus floats on down, and as soon as his little toenail touches the ground, the handful of good Christians that exist, good Christians, they get raptured while the rest of us all die in the Armageddon revelations. And you know, that's the Christian's best case scenario. Do you understand how fucked up that is? Especially since none of you are going to actually be raptured. I guarantee you all had sex before you were married. Welcome to hell. But one of the big tricks too is it's not the government that you can see. It's not the Trumps, the Lindsey Grahams, who gives a fuck? I'm not going to start naming them off, but it's not those guys. It's not the Bidens, whatever. I don't want you to think it's, you know, it's not those guys. It's the deep state. It's the government you can't see. It's the invisible government. Just like it's not the Jews. No. It's not the Jews. It's the Zionists. It's not the Jews that call you Goyim. It's not the Jews that think they're born supreme to everybody and everything. No. It's the Zionists. You get it? It's all about, you know, it's sleight of hand. It's like basic magic. Get you looking this way, misdirection. Get you looking this way while this is happening. Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't have sex before I was married. Sure you didn't. In the Christian best case scenario, as many people as possible live good lives. No, that's not true. I mean, unless you're like a vegan who was a virgin till they were married, who, you know, didn't swear and didn't ever want, you never looked at your neighbor's TV and thought, man, that's a nice TV. I'd like one like that. You know, like you are going to hell. Every meat eater out there, you're going to hell. Now, suddenly, out of all the things that people could be commenting on that I'm saying, suddenly, just like submarine workers, we have a whole bunch of virgins on here. Which is crazy, too. Like, I always think it's funny. Like, your average Christian looks for advice from a virgin who doesn't pay bills and shit. You go to your pastor, your high-level church practitioner, and these guys are supposed to be virgins who live in the church and don't pay bills and all that shit. And you're getting financial advice from your priest, whatever it is. I know there are some priests and pastors that have other, I get it. But on the highest levels, they're all virgins. Why would anyone listen to anything virgin say? Would you listen to, if you, like, do you go around listening to 14-year-olds? Virgins who've never paid bills and shit like that? Do you get financial advice from them? Do you get love life advice on them, from them? It's fucking stupid. He's right, though. The Bible literally asks you to not live life. Why do, How many people Y-O-U-R a joke? Why do people keep calling us, like every time somebody calls this a bong, they're acknowledging they're a square. Bro, where I'm on, there are people that don't know about masturbation. Yeah, they do. They just don't talk about it. Everybody knows about it. Everybody lies. Like, everybody lies all the fucking time. Everyone masturbates. Everyone has masturbated. You know, everyone... It was always funny to me when you get with a girl and she'd be like, I don't do this. I never do this. And you're like, shut up. Yes, you do. Didn't take me that much to get you to do it. Matter of fact, you volunteered. And you clearly know what you're doing. So, like, why do we lie so fucking much? Gross. Wax is gross. You youngsters in your wax, I don't get it. Weed's just fine as it is. We can't see the pipe, we just see the edge. You would hear a bong. You would hear it. It would bubble, 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 bubble. And it wouldn't be from the top. It would be from the bottom. Come on now. Someone give this guy a raise. Everyone lies. Truth shines brighter as a result. I guess. I mean, truth doesn't shine brighter. It should. But, like, you try to talk about the truth of what people, like, if you try to talk to Christians about the truth of what they believe, most of them don't even know it. If you ask Christians, what's the first thing God does? After God turns on the light, because, you know, again, God doesn't make the sun and moon until day 4, which kind of doesn't make any sense how you can have days without the sun and moon being there, but okay. What's the first thing God does after he turns on the light? Like, people just don't know. And I don't get it.
I thought he'd actually try to put me back.
What's up, Texas? Good to see you. Let's talk about why? You want to talk about anything else, go somewhere else. I don't understand. There are so many other people talking about all the cute little things you guys like to talk about. There are so many Tartaria people out there. There are so many chemtrail people out there, geoengineering, vaccine, whatever. If you want to talk about something else, go find it. Or bring it up. Go ahead and bring up a topic. But don't tell me to start talking about something else. Please acknowledge that you have never said an actual fact. Yes, I have never said an actual fact. I just love that kind of shit. To me, that's amazing. Why don't you come in and be like, hey, dude, you said this and that's wrong because? Why do people always come in to acknowledge their own ignorance? Like, clearly what I'm saying is bothering you. And instead of looking at why it's bothering you, because it shouldn't. You know, if I was sitting on here talking about Care Bears exist and shit, that wouldn't bother anybody. But when I'm talking about these things that you believe, like I said earlier, you can only shame people or offend people or upset people with truth. Nobody's going to get upset if you walk up to them and say, you have spaghetti hair and your arms are jump ropes and your feet look like remote control cars and, you know, you're 22 feet tall. They're just going to look at you and be like, what are you, crazy, dude? Get out of here. And they might laugh. Whatever, okay. But you walk up to a fat person and you say, hey, I really want to help you. I want to help you live the longest, healthiest, happiest life you can live. And clearly you have a problem with your weight. And I believe I can help you because I know some things that might help. Can I help you lose some weight and live a good, happy, healthy life? I guarantee you can't even get that out before that person is either yelling or they hit you. Why? Because it's true. They know it's true. If being fat was okay, then nobody would care if you said anything. I get skinny shamed all the time. Do you think I care? No, it doesn't bother me. Why would I care? I'm skinny. I know that. Thankfully, I'm not fat. I'm really happy with that. You know, if Christians actually had confidence in their stuff, they wouldn't care if somebody questioned it. If anything, they would encourage people to question it so they can answer those questions and bring them in. Yet, Christians always get super upset, super offended because you point shit out. I've never had a Jew come on here and actually engage me in a reasonable discussion. I think you're misguided, young man. Here, let me help you understand what parts you're getting wrong. What do you think? I think the Talmud says it's okay that Jews sleep with a child as long as they're 3 years and 1 day old. And I already know your bullshit about how it actually benefits them because it's all about dowry and it's not necessarily okaying it. It's not condemning it, but it's not saying it's an okay thing to do. And with today's laws and stuff, then you get arrested. That's just what it is. But it's just saying if that did happen, then this was gonna. It's like it's fucking stupid. It's stupid. I keep waiting for somebody to come in and tell me how I'm wrong about, you know, the moils and the Brit Milah and the sucking and all that. Nope. But yet I have a ton of people who supposedly worked on submarines. They're on submarines right now. All these Christians in this country, and not one of them has the knowledge to be able to engage in this. Not one person to actually engage in any sort of intelligent conversation about it. The reason the sun and stars were not created until the fourth day was to emphasize that God is the ultimate source of light before the creation event. Yeah, that's what it is. To emphasize it to who? And it's so you're just overlying, like you're overlooking the point. How do you have 4 days if there's no sun and moon? And it's funny how you didn't actually answer my question. What is the first thing God does after it turns on the light? I turned into him one time, part 6, I think, he warned about submarine BS, and he read a Jewish guy's name, and it triggered 2-hour-long schizo anti-Semitic rant. Blah, 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 says fake profile, blah, blah. It's not anti-Semitic. Please get that right. It's anti-Semitism. I am very proud of my anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitic is a racist term. You know, Semitic refers to all of the people in the region. I know Jews think they own everything, but they don't actually own that phrase. White people, black people, brown people of all shades, they're all Semitic if they come from Palestine, Syria, Northern Africa, Morocco, all these places. These are Semitic people. Semitism, on the other hand, is a policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. I don't believe any goofy ass religion should get favor, but especially one like that. So you go deep enough into that and you hit the standing on the Christian because there's a lot of issues with the religion, but you are a bit off. See, you put in all that effort to say all that instead of telling me what I'm a bit off on. Isn't it interesting how people will go to great lengths to tell me that I am wrong, but not what I'm wrong about? No one person knows what they know is knowing how to do it. Yeah. Noonie can provide irrefutable, verifiable evidence for their religion or God. Not even a little bit. It's not even a tiny little bit. Can you provide any evidence for God? Submarines and blah, blah, blah. If we have 5 years without a sky, we have Submarine theory has a surreal effect and is not something many people have encountered. The religion debates a lot of people simply avoid due to fatigue, I think. No, they do it because they can't. What can a religious person actually say? Please, by anyone on here, give me the best arguments you have for why your religion is right. Why your God, your Allah, your Jesus, your Muhammad. Give me any reason or any proof, anything to say that that's legitimate. I'd love to hear it. Why aren't submarines real? If you want to know about submarines, go watch the first few parts. We got 9 parts where we talk just about submarines for the most part. I mean, the Bible said the earth was in darkness and demon roamed the lands. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. What are you talking about? He's actually read my nonsense. How about God? God isn't real, obviously. Sorry. Why do all the most evil people seem to hate Christianity? Oh, I'm evil. Hey, why do all the religions have different goofy gods and superheroes, but all have the same Satan? That seems kind of weird, don't you think? Can you prove that a 1,000-year-old house had a builder? Not necessarily. There likely won't be any documentation of it, but there has to have been someone that built it. The same goes for God. That's the best argument you can make, because the house that you can literally go up to and see that it exists, that you're told is from this time period, that's the same thing as God? Wow, is that lame? I always love this argument because you ask people to bring their best thing, and this is the kind of shit you come up with. Well, hold on, the word man is mentioned 23 times, and so is the word woman. Just like how many chromosomes we have. And they didn't know about chromosomes back then, so that's proof. That's a miracle. Man, I thought this was about us, not crazy rants about religion. Right, you've only been here for fucking weeks now. You don't know what's going on. Why don't you fake like you're new? Blah, blah, blah. All the things you have issues with have been explained. Read the Bible. See, again, instead of actually saying anything that matters, this is why they don't do it. You think it's fatigue. It's not. These people have all of the opportunity right now to say anything they want to say. And they could make the very best arguments they could make. But instead, this guy says, well, all the things you have issue with have been explained. Read the Bible instead of picking parts out of context. Yep, that's what it is. You want proof of the Bible? Go read the Bible. What? Blah, 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 blah. Every religion is right for the people that practice the religion. Every religion is wrong, is the way for the people that practice that religion. No religion is wrong. Yeah, right. They're all wrong. It's crazy. You know how Christians look at Islam and think, those guys are crazy. Clearly, that wasn't Muhammad streaking across the sky. That was just a fucking meteorite. That's why they found it and they hide it, because it's just a meteorite. All of that Muslim shit, it's all stupid, blah, blah, blah. The same way Christians look at Islam, like the same way Muslims look at Christianity and think you guys are nuts, I look at both of those things the same way. The biggest thing with religious people is they think all of the other hundreds, thousands of religions that exist out there, all of the other people's beliefs are just crazy and goofy and how could they and blah, blah, blah. And yet their crazy ass virgin got pregnant, kid disappears from 12 to 32 or whatever. Like they think that shit all makes sense. God wants you to keep circumcising babies because instead of dinkle, dinkle, dink, making babies without that foreskin. We have to torture them. We have to mutilate them. I was married to a submariner for 20 years. I've touched the boats. They are most definitely real. Yes, boats are absolutely real. All of us have seen boats in harbors. All of us have seen boats where most of the boat goes underwater. None of you have proof that submarines swim around like Red October, like a dolphin, underwater in 800-meter deep water, blah, blah, blah. It's all stupid. Yeah, the crack says this guy has literally said these things for days. Instead of knowing that he's going to come back here tomorrow and say the same stupid shit, instead of like brushing up and learning some things so he can come here and have some arguments, or even praying that God makes him smarter so he can address me properly, he just keeps coming back day after day proving how stupid people have to be. The world and the universe that you live in exists and shows that there had to have been a builder and of that universe. My point is that somehow someone created God. That's it. He made the universe. What? No. No, God isn't real. It's just a fake Judeo-Christian bullshit. It's not real. Both my grandfathers worked on submarines. Sure they did. Wasn't calling you evil, just talking about the baby suckers. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, when we start talking about evil, we start putting that spiritual, like, you know, that fantasy element to it. It's evil. No, they're not evil. They're just sick pieces of shit, man. They're just a sick, disgusting cult. There's no evil minus the, devil minus the D. It's just bullshit. It's all fucking disgusting bullshit. Da 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 da. You don't say anything that matters. That's why I keep coming here day after day to ridicule you. Right, that makes sense. With your fake profile, your dumb fake Jew profile. Gotcha. Every religion is right for the people that practice. Yep. No, it's dumb. It's not right. Just because somebody believes something doesn't make it okay. Just because the Jews think it's okay that they fuck with non-Jews that are 3 years and 1 day old, they can sexually, once they have sex with them, then they're technically, the girl belongs to that guy. Just because they believe that shit doesn't make it right, you crazy kook. Where in the Bible does it say God is real or that the Bible is nonfiction? What I want to know is how come Jesus didn't come down and tell you guys that you live on a ball flying through space? If either one of those things is real, how come Jesus wasn't like, yeah, it's a ball and there's fucking going around this? No, I know you guys think you're the center of the universe. It's not it. It's all stupid. It's impossible to debate someone who is delusional. Right. Yeah, I would imagine trying to argue with someone who has faith in Sky Daddy and doesn't require any sort of factual evidence or proof or anything like that. Yeah, I would imagine that is difficult because I've been doing it for years. And I know for a fucking fact that people that have faith are some of the dumbest people on the planet. Are you here? Okay. I believe my faith to be legitimate because it has been given me strength in difficult times. Oh, there's that arrogance coming through. It has helped me take care of others and myself. For me, nothing could be more legitimate. So literally nothing. Nothing. Like, do you understand how comically powerless your God is? You would think that not only a cult that's allowed to exist and is given a country and their buildings and their cult centers are tax-free and they can consistently get caught raping children and not be dismantled, not be destroyed. Like, you would think this group that gets all of these advantages, all of this favor, You would think there would be some sort of legitimate reason for it. And look at how what a coward the big guy is, right? He's saying that he couldn't have got through tough times. He wouldn't have helped people or himself if not for some goofy fantasy. That's not the person you want to be around when he finds out it's not real. That's pretty scary. You don't have enough belief in yourself to think, hey, maybe you actually did some good stuff. You actually helped people. You are actually strong enough to achieve things. Oh, what a horrible thing to think. And it's that same God that gives you all that strength that continues to allow your clergy to rape children it's happening probably right now. The Vatican is full of these children that are being held hostage and consistently being violated. This is happening consistently in God's house, all over the place. And yet your God does nothing to help those children. Is it because they don't pray the right way? What about all the Christian Palestinians that are being genocided right now? Are they not? Are you just pray better than they do? Is that what it is there, big guy? You can't see air. How do you know it's real? Well, I mean, these are the dumbest arguments. This is the best that these people condone these people condone these pedos constantly violating children because you can't see the air. You can't see air. Yeah, I can absolutely feel the air. I can blow some air out of my mouth. Yet your God, who is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipowerful, he has he's everywhere at all times, right? So, like right here, God has this view of children being violated, being raped by clergy, and continues to do nothing about it. Boy, that's pretty wild, don't you think? How does that happen? Why doesn't God do anything about that? How come in the history of God, no cop has ever been driving down the street? Suddenly they're hit by a bolt of spiritual lightning. They stop their car. They jump out. They run up to a door in a neighborhood and kick in that door and bust a pedo ring, saving 10, 15, 20 children at the time, whatever it is. Even though he doesn't have the warrant, he still saves all the... And he says, well, it wasn't me, it was God. God, look, my hands are bleeding. I have stigmata to prove it. How come that's never, ever happened? How come your God is never there when it matters? It's always something stupid, like somebody ran faster than somebody else. I caught that touchdown. All glory be to God. He was a Raiders fan today. Like, it's fucking insane. And then when you start learning about the history of the Bible, the history of Christianity, the shit that they want you to know, it just makes it even worse. We're talking about Jewish fairy tales. That's all it is. You can't argue with religion. It's all based in faith. To a degree, I mean, the point being is that I tend to believe that people are smarter than, even though I have all the evidence in the world to prove the opposite, I like to believe that you're smarter than, and that if you're shown that without that blind faith, you wouldn't believe that shit, maybe that'll help you through it. Maybe that'll help you be the better person that you could be without that religious nonsense. By the way, if you're watching, don't forget to like, share, sub, help a motherfucker out, man. Even if I'm just entertaining you. You know, I'm not asking you for money. I give you free shit. I give you free music. The link will be in the description. www.the-bilderberg, BILDERBERG-group.com. Go get free music. All I ask you to do is share this shit. Take 2 seconds. Share the feed on Facebook. Share the feed wherever. Help. I mean, if you're confident that I'm wrong, you shouldn't be afraid to help. You know, bring people in here that are going to tell me what I'm wrong about and make me look foolish and blah, blah. I'd love to see it. Anyone who comes up with their own facts and believes them will never be reasonable. But there are no facts when it comes to the Bible. And I know you did it, quotations, facts, but it's the truth. Muslims generally don't say that Jesus was a prophet. No, I know. I know they say that, but they think Christians are fucking stupid. No doubt. Typos. It is your opinion, bro. Cool, move on. Being stuck trying to disprove a religion is just as dumb as someone trying to force their religion on someone else. You sound like an edgy 16-year-old. Chill. Right. Yeah, we shouldn't try to stop unnecessary circumcision from happening. We shouldn't try to stop all the wars and bloodshed, especially the genocide taking place right now. See, what you guys don't understand is the reason you're Christian has nothing to do with you. The reason you're Christian has nothing to do with your salvation and all that shit. The reason you're a Christian is so that you think the bad guys in the Bible, the Jews, are your Christian God's chosen people. And because of that, you ignore things like the genocide that's taking place right now. You ignore the fact that we give Israel $3.8 billion a year and $18+ billion since last October. You know, you being Christian is only so you turn a blind eye to the Jewish stuff. Literally, they don't care what you believe. They think it's all bullshit too. They think you're a dumbass. You believe in heaven and hell and all that. Jews believe in now. You better make the best of your life right now. There's no heaven waiting for you. It's not a question of whether God is real or not, but this guy is mad because because he hates us. Yeah, I'm mad at God. I cannot be mad at something that doesn't exist, you doofus. Like, do you look at how it's like watching children trying to reconcile with understanding that there's no Santa. Wait. So wait, what about the Easter Bunny? Like, immediately they know it's not real, but their brain is gonna try to reconcile, trying to do something to save them. Yeah, you just mad at God. Yeah. You don't believe in God, so you're a Satan worshiper? The biggest Satan worshipers in the world are Christians. Christians are the ones that talk about, well, this is Satan's realm. Satan controls this realm. You know, the Christians are the ones that are always blaming problems on Satan and giving Satan all of its power. Apparently, God is, again, comically powerless because while God's looking down on these people running or these people catching footballs, Satan's behind his back, you know, making bad shit happen. And then God turns around real quick, and then Satan's back behind his back on this side. And it's just this goofy dance that keeps happening because God's just an idiot. Like, it's such a stupid belief structure. It's so comically stupid. I really cannot understand why adults, especially learned adults, would accept such crazy nonsense. Nope. Only Americans and Jews still do that. Why is this dude so bent on this? Okay, it doesn't matter why I'm doing it. I'm doing my own feed. Why are you so bent on watching me and then telling me not to say it? I tend to think you're a Jew if you tell me not to say things, because that's their only real response. You try to talk to Jews about anything, and they have two arguments for you. The first one is that it's biblical. Everything they're doing is okay because they're God's chosen people, and it says it in the Bible, and blah, blah, blah. But as soon as you go, well, yeah, sorry, I don't believe in that shit. It's nonsense. Can you give me a more legitimate reason why it's okay that you kill people? Why it's okay that you suck on baby penises? why it's okay that you guys exist in general, and they immediately go, "Oh, you're anti-Semitic. Nah, you're anti-Semitic. That's anti-Semitism." And the thing is, as soon as you say in response, "Yeah, actually, I'm proud of my anti-Semitism. I know what those words mean, and I don't believe in a policy or predisposition to show Jews favor. Sorry, I think we're all here equally, and we all deserve equal favor. So your Semitism stuff doesn't work on me. Now, can you please tell me why you should get this blah blah? Why you should get the favor? Why you're so special?" Once you give them those two responses, they'll have their temper tantrum and leave every time. They literally have nothing else to say. Just practice your religion and leave everyone else alone. I bet you wouldn't say that if a suicide bomber blew up your house. Would you? I bet you wouldn't say it if some crazy Christian wacko started shooting people and shot your family members because they thought they were cleansing the world with the Jesus, blah, blah, blah. No. Why would I let anybody practice horrible shit? Shouldn't we deal with problems instead of ignoring them? I know the world hasn't gotten better the stronger religion has been. And I know that the Jews are literally committing genocide because of religious beliefs, and they're allowed to do it because of Christian religious beliefs. Leave everyone else alone. It's easy to treat people how they want to be treated, or other people. I treat everybody how I want to be treated. I pull your nasty, stupid shit apart and hold you accountable to what you say and believe, just like I hope you do to me. And let's figure out the best way to do things, because anything I'm proud of everything I say. Again, if you agree, then like, share, and sub. But I'm proud to be against Jewish supremacy. I'm proud to hate pedophiles. You can't hate things. You have so much hate in your heart. Yeah, I'm proud of my hate. I absolutely hate slave religions. I think we as society would be a much better society without religion. And it's been proven time and time again, especially in the medical industry. I understand that sometimes people believe things without any evidence, but devoting your entire life to something that has absolutely zero evidence is what gets me. Right. Well, and the thing is, not only is it that lack of evidence for Christianity is evidence against. Wow, I'm way behind. Samuel Ortiz says, "You're nuts." Yep, I'm crazy because I don't believe in Sky Daddy. Stop telling me what to do. Your Muslim brethren aren't going to drop their faith because some guy on live says so. There you go. Again, you have to understand what you're seeing. Like, these people, they're doing the only thing they can do. Like, understand, they're saying the only thing they can. If they had better things to say, if they could debunk what I'm saying, they absolutely would. That's what the proof is. They're proving that they'll say anything. They'll say any kind of weird nonsense because what I'm saying is hurting their feelings. And they're telling me, "Don't say anymore. Please stop saying these things. I want to believe in this crazy faith." And if I wasn't like hitting nerves, if I wasn't telling the truth, why would they care? If I was on here talking about, the pink elephants and the Care Bears that live on the street, and I was sitting here telling you crazy stories about, do you think all these people would still be here and be so angry? Who is God? Nothing. It's a nothing. Here he goes again. He's so far behind in the chat, blah, blah. Here comes David Young, who's not going to say anything that matters anyway. That's weird that somehow you didn't see my comments. Yeah, somehow. It's not like there's a shit ton of them. Yep. It's because I'm focused on you. Oh, and all right. So everybody that's saying now, commenting about how I'm ignoring things, why don't you say your best point now? I've caught up in the comments. Now you say your best point. Let's see if you have anything that actually matters. To be fair, there's like a million messages to read. Yep. As opposed to you saying anything productive. Yep. Yep. I'm not saying anything productive. Did you grow up religious? No. No, I never could get it. I'd rather die with hope of an afterlife than die with no hope. Exactly why most people believe. It's selfish. It has nothing to do with like anything else. It's your selfish inability to reconcile with death. Literally all it comes down to. Who's crazy? You're the one walking in circles in your apartment. And yep. Here we go. I love debunking people really easily. Because I have that one apartment in this neighborhood, I guess. On the second floor. Yep. Are your morals shaped by society? No. Just like they're not shaped by religion either. My morals are shaped by me and what's right. You do things that are right. Hopefully your parents do a good job in teaching you the difference between right and wrong. Like, it's always so funny because, like, if you watch Cops or you watch any YouTube feeds with for the police or anything like that, it's not like it's a bunch of atheists that are running from the police or committing the crimes. It's always people who will like swear to God they haven't had anything to drink or swear to God they didn't do the thing until you show them enough evidence that you know what that they're guilty. They'll swear, give me a stack of Bibles and I'll swear on it. It's almost never is it an atheist. You've never heard of an atheist serial killer or like a mass shooter that was an atheist. Never an atheist suicide bomber. You know, it's never the atheists that do anything. It's always the crazy religious people. Oh, Jesus Christ. You're saying something reductive about literally. Jesus Christ. Like, this is dumb. I can't even. What am I supposed to be reading here? I think everyone is selfish no matter what you believe, no matter what you do. Well, true selfishness is the key to salvation, though. True selfishness. You know, individual low-level selfishness is what religion provides and what religion requires. You have to believe that the God that makes the universe work listens to your prayers and changes its mind. It had God's plan going this way. It was going to give the job to Sally, but then you prayed really hard and it was like, all right, I'll give the job to you. It was going to let Minnesota win, but then you prayed enough that Dallas won or whatever bullshit. You know? Like it's such low-level stupid selfishness. But true selfishness, where someone like me says, I want myself, my wife, and my children to live the happiest, healthiest, safest life they can live. Well, the only way that can happen is if everyone else lives the happiest, healthiest, safest lives they can live. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with any kind of bullshit like that. So true selfishness is the key. We don't get taught that. We get taught to believe that the God that exists is answering our prayers, but still allows those children to be violated by church because they just must not be praying right. Oh, debunk your toilet and get your facts straight. Yeah, vote for Kamala. Like, this is the best. This is why reading comments is so stupid. Nobody actually says anything. I like that religion gives hope to people. It doesn't. It gives people false hope. And it also gives people an unachievable sense of purpose. Like, you believe that you have some sort of purpose. You have no idea what that purpose is. You're not real sure. You think God gave it to you. And then you constantly feel like you empty because you don't know whether you've lived up to your purpose or not. So then you go to Jews and get more medication. I feel empty. I've achieved so much in this life, but I still just don't think I've reached my purpose. Well, here's some happy pills. Here you go. These will make you feel great. And if they don't, then we'll give you some other ones to take with that. And if that doesn't work, then we'll switch you to something else. And if that doesn't work, we'll switch you to something else. And it doesn't give people hope. It gives people false hope. Imagine like really believing that God's going to answer your prayers and then God doesn't. And you got to be like, oh, well, I guess God had a different plan for me after all. Fucking stupid. And the thing is, if our one world religion was that everyone believed in man, in what we're capable of, and that you know, this is our one life, we need to make the best of it so that the generations that come after us live a much better life than we did. If everyone believed that same thing, that would be amazing. Like what hope does religion give you? How does heaven even work? Heaven is such a silly concept. How can my heaven and my grandmother's heaven exist? And when we're in heaven, how old are we? You know, does my heaven, are we in little cubicles that I can, you know, shoot dope? Because I'd love to shoot dope and see what all that shit's about. I never could shoot heroin because I knew I'd like it too much, but I want to know what all the artists fell in love with. I want to know what that shit feels like, that it's so good you'll ruin your life over it. I'd love to listen to fucking Velvet Underground and shoot some dope and see what that feels like. Listen loud. Is that, am I allowed to do that in heaven? Next to my grandmother's heaven? As far as heaven goes, when you come up the tunnel, you're surrounded by a bunch of faces and relatives and shit. Well, how long are you obligated to do that? How many cousins removed and all that shit do I have to keep? Oh, shit, I was in the middle of making a chess move, but I got to go show up and wave to this newcomer. Hi. Yeah, I'm your mother's cousin's uncle's nephew's niece's brother's nephew.
Oh my God.
And what time is it? Huh?
This is opening today. Oh my God.
Why?
I don't know. That's why it's been under closed for so long.
That's a weird thing.
Oh my God. Mother, sisters, cousins. Mother, sisters, cousins.
I don't know what, yeah. I mean, it's like you can have the same, like there, literally nothing that religion provides is something that can't be found outside of religion. Right? Nothing good. All the good stuff that comes from religion can be found outside of religion. There's lots of really bad shit that only happens because of religion and wouldn't be able to exist without religion, but there's no good things. You know, you can absolutely have hope and all that shit in a society without religion. You will come to know God. A blind man may not believe in the sun, but it does not change its existence. Yeah, well, that blind man can literally ask his person next to him, hey, does the sun exist? And the person next to him can say, yeah, I can literally see it. Seriously, this is the best shit that these religious wackos can come up with. You're not influenced by anything but yourself. That's impossible. No, I'm influenced by everything. Everything. Everything influences me. Whether it influences me to believe in that thing or influences me to believe against that thing. You know, like with religion, the lack of evidence for it is evidence against. It's just how you look at things. My point is that a 1,000-year-old house I mentioned earlier had a builder for the same reason that the universe does. You likely respond with, that's the best you've got, or what about, yeah, that is, it's a bad, you already know that it's a dumb, bad argument. That's why you're saying that. You think you're going to manipulate things, but the reality is, I can go look at that house, and I can choose whether I believe that house is 1,000 years old. You're the dumbass that'll believe it's 1,000 years old because the lying ass system tells you it's 1,000 years old. I think that's all fucking goofy. But clearly someone built it. And saying that someone built the narrative that we live in, so that must mean it's God, that's just dumb. Why is it only one thing? And I'm sure you're one of these dumbasses that believes in the Big Bang Theory as well. And you believe that the James Webb Space Telescope is out there taking a bunch of pretty pictures and shit too, right? It's funny how still nobody has answered what God did after it turned on the light. Why doesn't anybody answer these questions? Why doesn't anybody ever talk about Matthew 24:34? Anyway, the peace and blessings, blah, blah, blah. You haven't brought any facts to the table. You just repeat that. An argument is bad. Yep. So I address the things that are said to me. Even an atheist will swear to God it's a figure of speech. Right, it's a figure of speech. It's just a figure of speech. That doesn't mean you believe in that shit. Because if you did, you wouldn't do it. If you actually believed in that shit, you would never say that shit. That's blasphemous. You said a word I didn't like. Most people doing hard time in prison are not religious. Yes, they are. They find religion when they get there. How could the world be better without religion? What the fuck are you talking about? Like the old adage is that everyone finds religion in prison, right? I mean, prison's definitely not full of atheists, you dumbass. Most people, Hitler equals atheist. Tao equals atheist. Stallone equals, yep. Hitler was an atheist, yep. Hitler was an actor. I think, did you mean Mao? These guys are actors. When you are threatened with death, all souls cry for God. Do they? Is that what it takes? Man, you would think it would be more obvious than that. Than someone in a desperate position. Like they say, they can't torture people because if you torture people, they'll say anything you want them to say. If people think they're going to die, they're going to say anything they can to try to get through it. Do you see how, again, I address the dumb things you say. No matter how dumb they are, I still address them. You guys might want to try doing that. Remember Charleston Church and the trans that shot the school. Remember Charleston Church and the trans that shot the school. No, I just remember endless stories of Christians shooting people. There was the one time it was the Muslims in Washington. It was that shooter shooting out the back of his car, him and his son. They were Muslim. Other than that, it's always Christians. Don't try to have, now you're going to have the dumb Jew going to come on here and try to tell other people that they shouldn't even talk to me. This guy is the YouTube police. He's been here for weeks now trying to tell people not to talk to me because I'm crazy. Typical Jew, man. He's not going to answer any of the questions. He's not going to discount any of the things being said. He's just going to tell you not to. Don't do it. Don't talk about it. Just keep your faith that the Jews are the best. Notice how I asked you guys to give me some of your best arguments, and I'm actually going back in the comments to see if I maybe missed something. Reason why I'm agnostic is that both sides of the coin lack evidence. As long as it's not debunked, it could be. No, I get that, but the God narrative absolutely doesn't exist. You have to be willing to close the door on things. Like I'm always open to hear whatever argument you may have, and if you make an argument that actually makes sense, I'll acknowledge it. But the fact is, your shit's utter nonsense and it's Jewish fairy tale. It's actually Jewish fairy tale bullshit when you really look into the history of it, the Dead Sea Scrolls, all that shit. This is all Jewish fairy tales. So that whole idea of it could be, it can't be. It's absolutely not true. You know, and how do you prove something doesn't exist? You know, I always say it, but go ahead and prove there's not a leprechaun dancing in my hand right now, doing a little Irish jig. I can see him. I have faith in him. He grants my wishes, and he walks on water, and he can do the moonwalk really well. Don't you guys have faith? You guys have to respect my beliefs. You guys have to respect the fact that I choose to believe there's a leprechaun in my hand, and you can't prove otherwise. The burden of proof is not on you guys to disprove my dumbass leprechaun. The proof is on me to prove that there's some sort of leprechaun there. Oh, you should read the Bible before babbling like this. Right. I love when people say shit like that. Nobody that doesn't believe the Bible doesn't believe so because of lack of information. The more you look into it, the more you actually scrutinize it and question things like you would any other subject, the more you realize it's just utter bullshit. Again, how come none of these Christians are on here making any reasonable points? Why is the question of why do you believe in God? Why do you believe in the Bible? Why is that such a hard one for them to answer? If it's the foundation of your being and it's what you truly believe, first of all, you should know the shit inside and out. And secondly, you should have an answer, man. Where's your answer? Anyway, why is this person saying the same stupid things over and over? More people have died under the rule of man who thinks morality is subjective. You made another claim that shows you know nothing on the subject matter. More people have died because of religious beliefs than anything else. And all of the religions are created by man. Are you foolish? Do you not know who the King James was? The King James Bible, 1611, the commission, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure you know nothing about that either, right? Like, this is the stupidity that just keeps coming through. I hate it. My best point is probably this. There is no logical reason to give grace to those you hate. But it is a good thing, and the more it happens, the better the world might be. I need to go now. See? Typical Christian. That's the best. Like, he had to get out of here before I read that shit. He was like, I'm going to say my shit, and then I'm going to bail because I know he's just going to tear apart how stupid what I just said was. His best evidence for God is that give grace to those you hate. That's the best evidence of God. That's embarrassing. That's like asking Trump supporters why they support Trump. And they go, well, you must be a Kamala supporter. And you go, why do you support Trump? Well, Kamala, well, Biden, no. Why do you support Trump? The borders. It's just the same sort of dumb nonsense where it's always embarrassing. Like, I love giving Christians the floor because to me, they're just, I don't need to say it. Just let them say their thing. This guy literally started it by saying, my best point is to give grace to those you hate. Because that'll make the world a better place. Oh, well, that only comes from the Bible. The only way you could give grace to those you hate is if you had the Bible. Because that's what the Bible's all about. Giving grace to those who disagree with you. It's embarrassing, man. There is literal proof, video proof, dummy. There's literal video proof of what, dummy? You're the guy standing on a street corner. Now I'm on a street, with a tinfoil hat screaming at children that pass by. Literally, if I'm that guy, why am I not that guy? Why am I not standing on a street corner with a tinfoil hat on screaming at children that pass by? This is
Get off my lawn!
I mean, this is what the Jews do. This is the only way they can do things. They're just not smart enough to debunk actual comments, actual beliefs, actual facts. So they just start saying crazy, stupid shit. Like, I don't even, that's just stupid, but okay. You just have to believe in what makes you happy in life, no matter what belief. That's not okay. So you think that the people that believe it's okay to violate children, it's okay that they do because they believe it is? Makes them happy. He claims to have no God, yet can't put a cigarette down. I mean,
So, okay, wait. So you buy the cigars, you open them up, you empty the tobacco to put more tobacco in them and a filter and roll them back up and smoke them?
with the crack. Don't forget I put crack and meth in there too.
Okay, so it's tobacco and methane. Okay, but not the tobacco it comes with.
That's not how God works, bro. See, somebody's going to tell me that's not how, but they're not going to tell me how. Gotta love it. You don't understand the basis of what sin is. Yep. I know beautiful little babies are born sinful. Just like they're born having probably slept with hookers and used needles, so they need hepatitis shots. Craig, I need to be kicked. I need to be kicked out of the U.S. for having free speech. Like, it's insane how stupid Americans can be. Like, freedom means I have the freedom to believe how I want to believe and say what I want to say. And you have the freedom to either not listen or debunk what I have to say. That's what freedom is, you doofus. Atheists don't believe in God because they want him to save everyone like some superhero. Not at all. Not at all. See, again, this is just more stupid shit. I've said for years, if God just stops the church, the clergy from raping little children, I'll believe it. If suddenly the mind changes and all those priests and all those clergy members that have ever been accused of raping children or anything inappropriate suddenly get turned over by the church because God spoke to the Pope and that's what he said to do, then I'll believe it. I'll start to believe something. I don't want God to save everyone like you see, it's like this, my wife does this one. But when you know I'm right, you'll exaggerate what you're saying. Oh, so you just think God should save everyone then? Nope, never said anything like that. David, sadly, you might be right. This is a bad thing to have hope in a hopeless world. But it's a bad thing. You have hope in what? You have hope in some goofy fairy tale that's going to somehow maybe magically fix the world? What kind of hope is that? That's not real hope. That's false hope that will never come true. The only way the world gets better is if we Goyim unify and overthrow the Jews that control our narrative. He is projecting his life. Leave him be, people. No, I don't want anybody to leave. I love having these. I love the fact that people they can't wait to prove I'm right. Like, to me, it's amazing. Every single comment that doesn't address the things that I'm saying or attempts to, I just love it. It's great. Imagine telling the Creator that He must answer every prayer you make. Yep. Again, let's do the whole super exaggerated thing so you have an argument. I'm only talking about literally one thing, but no. Jared Goff is the only guy. Hitler. Let's do that again. Hitler. Oh, you're saying Stalin? You can't even spell Stalin right? That's hilarious. Don't make points if you're not going to be able to spell the shit right. And it's Mao. But they weren't. So Stalin was with the atheist, where was with the Bolshevik Jews. Stalin, Marx, Lenin, they killed like 25 million Christians. At the same time, like a little bit earlier, but at the same time as Hitler, Stalin was supposedly, and Stalin and the Bolshevik Jews were killing Christians left and right. What are you talking about, you stupid, stupid man? I don't mean to sound rude, but I know him. I know I'm right. I have a cousin like this. He's not allowed at family functions. They're just trying to make people upset. Blah, blah, blah. Again, this guy can comment all this shit to a random, I guess you guys, the audience, but he can't seem to make any reasonable points. Wasn't Hitler Christian? Probably. I know he believed in Hitler was a Jew. Hitler's mom was Jewish. Hitler was a Jew. Hitler was an actor. No one goes to heaven until Jesus returns for Judgment Day. Oh, yeah, that's what it says. In heaven, you won't be able to do stupid things like that. This guy's a drug addict. He lies, and that's all he does. Says Dee's princess. Are you a Jewish princess? Sounds like he's hated by his family and friends. What a sad existence. Oh. Anything but prove me wrong, huh? It's so sad. Islam warns us to do good. It says everything we do is recorded in the end and it's either proved, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Where does it say that? Got a drug addict, he lies, that's all he does. Wow. We're just repeating each other? That's pretty good. So, blah, 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 blah. Look at all this nonsense. I'm going to just go to the bottom because it's just fucking stupid. Now, David is talking to someone. Yep, you got to love it. These Section 8 houses. All these Section 8 houses out here. And they give Section 8 houses to pedophiles. Yes, I must be a pedophile. That's why the whole point of this is to kill pedophiles. Right. Like, what kind of dumb nonsense is this? This is the best that they do, because this is what but at least he's trying, I guess. This is what these Jew pedophiles do. They try to say these, oh, it's going to hurt me so much. Finally caught up to the chat. I just scrolled down because nothing you guys say matters. I mean, seriously, nobody is saying anything that matters. You're so desperate to try to like hurt my feelings or prevent people from watching me that you're making up nonsense instead of addressing the things being said. If anybody like doesn't see what that is, like I can't hold your hand through everything. Oh, you make a Twitch account and go there, like, because I get kicked off of Twitch. Twitch doesn't let you say anything. Why would I need to go anywhere else? Like, again, why would you encourage or why would you talk about anything other than what's being talked about? I still want to know why people believe in God. Making up nonsense that he is anti-Semitic, and that's not anti-Semitic. Come on, stupid. Let's get the words right. I'm proud of my anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitic is racist, and I'm a big supporter of Palestinians, Lebanese, especially Iran, you know, the poor people of Saudi Arabia, the Northern Africans, all the black, white, and brown people that are Semitic, because Jews don't own that word. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm very proud of my anti-Semitism, so make sure you say it right, okay? I know you're not smart enough to now come up with something else, but just let it sink in. I'm so desperate going to stream 30 people and pretend I'm a philosopher. Hey, you're the one that's here, dumbass. You're the one that makes the fake account so that you can be heard being a dumbass. Well, the last time you had a job, I'm not here to argue with a fool. I'm here to laugh at a clown. Right, that's what it is. You're a bot doing your bot job, trying to distract the conversation. But what you dumb Jews are too stupid to realize is that you make the conversation. If there was anything legitimate that you could say, you would. If I was wrong about any of the things I'm talking about, or, if you could literally point to any little thing I'm getting wrong, you would. You just can't. And all you end up doing is being the example. And it's great. I appreciate it. It's so much harder to prove that. It's so much harder to prove that, if I talk to normal people out and about and I say, yeah, I'm censored like you wouldn't believe, and I get all these fake Israeli trolls that come through and just say stupid nonsense and try to distract and blah, blah, blah. They're going to be like, yeah, right, that's crazy. I've never heard of that before. And I go, just watch. And they come see it and they see it for themselves, and it clicks, People are going, holy shit, what is happening on this guy's feed? I've been raised to believe that what this guy's saying isn't true, and yet nobody can actually debunk anything he says. The only thing that happens is more and more distraction. More people telling me not to watch the feed. More people calling him crazy, trying to shoot the messenger. Yet nobody can actually answer for anything that is being said, and nobody can deny the claims. And when I'm telling you that most of these guys are the Jewish pedophiles, the Israeli bots, it's not like they deny it. They never deny any of it. They just keep trying to distract and trying to make people think, like, at the end of the day, my mission statement is that we cut off Israel, stop giving Israel $3.8 billion a year and $18 billion since last year and blah, blah, blah. And we use that money to create a pedophile hunter network that's like all these civilians. I saw this one episode I shared it on my feed, actually, the big Jew guy, Alex, whatever his name is. The balding Jew guy, this young kid. Like, he does a great job. It is what it is. But he got this guy to admit on camera that he molested his 9-year-old niece, and that he has, child exploitation materials on his phone. And because if you call it CP, you're porn is a willing contract between two adults, consenting adults, making money and whatever, or just doing it consentingly. What we're talking about is child exploitation materials. It's not the same thing. So make sure you don't call it CP anymore, because that's the worst. But this guy, the cops show up and they're acting like Alex is the bad guy because he's exposing this guy, and it's just weird. Like, you have to understand, it's the Jews that control our system, the Jews that control the laws. It's why California has the statute of limitations, like they're the shortest statute of limitations and shit. That's why California has the hardest. It's the hardest to prove and to prosecute people for pedo stuff in California, because the laws are made that way by the Jews that make the laws to protect all their fellow Jews in Hollywood and in the industry. I mean, at the end of the day, our government is supposed to be full of people that represent us. And every single person I ever talked to that's real, when you ask them about pedos, what should we do? They always say we should kill them. Nobody's like, well, we should jail them for a few years and then put them through some programs and then let them come live in the neighborhood next door to me. Nobody says shit like that. Everybody thinks we should kill him. So why doesn't our government think we should kill him? Because they know that it would come back to them. You know, the government knows that the more effort that goes into busting the pedos, the more likely we're gonna have another Franklin situation. Another Franklin cover up. And you guys should look that shit up. You know, that is a story that was exposed by somebody like, I know people love to say, you know, you're doing this for attention or you know, whatever. The guy that exposed this story has as many credentials, as high credentials as anyone could have. So you can't hide behind your typical bullshit with this. But Ted Gunderson was the former head of the FBI. Like East Coast or whatever, but he was former head of the FBI. And he exposed that the Franklin School for Boys was associated with a ring that went all the way up to the president. And once it finally got up to the president and vice president being involved, the whole story just disappeared. And it's that kind of, you know, it's that reality that exists. That, like, you wonder, like, there are these what I consider fake bot Israeli profiles on here talking shit. Who is going to hear about the Franklin story or hear someone like me say, we need to cut Israel off and use that money to kill these people? Who's going to oppose me? At the end of the day, we might not agree on, you know, Sky Daddy shit or whatever, but don't you think that we should be protecting the children more than anything? Don't you think that the government is a hell of a lot more capable than they're actually doing?
Yes.
If your pastor tells you to reject your queer kid, reject your pastor and find a new church.
Protect our kids. That's just. I've seen 6 or 7 posts today with that underlying theme, and then you were saying it. So another one.
If you have somebody that's supposed why would you listen to a virgin? I say it all the time. Why would you listen to a virgin?
All right, I'm gonna go to Ray's little shop real quick and get my thing that I left.
Yeah, I definitely know about Team Jorge, and if you're not affiliated or not aware of Team Jorge, understand, like, you're missing your smoking gun, right? The smoking gun that everybody needs to be aware of and should be focused on is Team Jorge. Team Jorge is is one of many Israeli black ops organizations that well funded, off the books, and deals in cyber espionage and hacking and all that, bragging about having interfered with 33 elections and having success in 27 of them, and having some 40,000 social media bot profiles at their disposal to use in any way they seem fit, whether it's attacking some high level somebody or some nothing like me. I highly encourage, and you won't see it, right? You won't see any of these stupid fucking, David Young profiles addressing the Team Jorge argument because they know they can't. There's nothing to say there. It is the smoking gun. It's the thing that every American should fucking know about, and they don't. And I don't understand. Well, I do. I mean, I know why you don't, because the news doesn't talk about it. The system is all controlled by those same Jews. So why would Team Jorge be your nightly news story? They know what they're doing. It's really crazy. It's that is the thing. You know, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna wait and watch as none of these fucking dumb profiles are gonna talk about Team Jorge. Right? I guess I'm so a foreign agent. Yeah, well, exactly what I'm talking about. Team Jorge, foreign agent. Who else is gonna be angry? Who else is gonna? I know. Who else is gonna come here and be mad because I'm exposing Jewish pedophiles? Say hi to Dave. Hurry up, stinky butt. My wife's in there taking a massive shit. She's just in there shitting her brains out. We had crazy butt sex last night, so she's in there shitting her brains out.
No. I have a little bit of a drive, and I have a mommy bladder. So I had to pee. That's just how it was. I'm going to the Polish pottery store. I have a friend that works there. And I took her some clothes last week, and I bought a couple little things, and I forgot one of them there because we were too busy talking. So now I have to go back and pick it up.
Go back and pick it up. You better pick it up.
I do. I have to go back and pick it up. That Polish pottery store, oh my goodness. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Polish pottery, wowzers. It is absolutely stunning. My mom collects it, so while I was there, I got a couple of little things for her Christmas gift. And this darling little butter dish. It's rectangular, but the handle, is built right into it. So, and it's heavy duty. And it's hand painted, handmade in Poland by an artist, signed. And with my friend's discount, I got it for I think it was $11, which is cheaper than the one that we had. That was slippery and smooth and no handle. So, anyhow.
You're black. You're half black. Don't touch me.
I'm Greek. Thank you.
Time for Miss Anti-Semite. God, these people are so dumb. Desperate, man. That's just desperate Jew nonsense. It's just how they operate. They're the most disgusting, desperate, hate-mongering, stupid people in the world. And it's that stupidity combined with the arrogance, like the ignorant arrogance, right? It's what allows the average one of them to be such a piece of shit and still live their everyday life. Like, Anyway, I think that's about it. That's about it. So, um, everybody, have a good day. You dumb Jew pussy agents. I mean, seriously, everybody, get off of here. Look up Team Jorge, Jorge. Put Team Jorge Israel. Take 10 minutes to look that shit up. Either way, either side you're on. So tomorrow when I talk about it, you can debunk everything I have to say. How about that, okay? So tomorrow you'll come way more prepared than you are today. And unless, you take my advice, which is always that you pedophiles should kill yourself.